Hey guys, so I just installed the CoC Custom Springer kit. I'm in the United States, obviously behind me. This came from Australia, CoC Customs in Australia, on my Triumph Bobber. So as you can see, when done, I do have the British Customs seat too, so that's a little different than the stock bike. But as you can see, it looks pretty good there. It's not too bad. Instead of showing just the shaky video, I'll put some pictures on the screen so you can see it and see what we're working with here. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. If I go ahead and press down on the seat, you can see possibly bends down a little bit. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. I was able to do it pretty quickly. This took 20-30 minutes, something like that. Didn't take long at all to get it installed and working. I installed it in the full forward position, and one of the things I'll note right away is that it seems to sit a little higher than stock in the full forward position. I could easily flat foot my bike. I'm very short, I'm 5'6". I could easily flat foot my bike before in the full forward position, and I think what I'll wind up doing now is readjusting mine to back the seat up a little bit more now, which I didn't have it adjusted before. It was always full forward. I think I'll probably adjust mine to back it up just a little bit. There has the slot here so that you can just adjust the position of where your seat goes. One of the cool things about this kit that it came with, this is the remnants of where I was just working on it here, is you have these metal pieces in the kit here. These are bump stops, and it comes with an assortment of these, so you can put different spring combinations in to give a different setup for your weight. The one thing I will comment on is I couldn't find anywhere in the instructions where it gave you a guide to start off with for that. And I think it's probably because they intend this to be preference. They do say, they describe here that you should sit on the seat and adjust it, and then take it for a ride, and if you don't like it, readjust it based on that. Basically, you don't want it to be hitting the bump stop while you're riding. You want it to, if you have it where it does that, go up a size, see if it stops hitting the bump stop, and then go from there. So that's what we're doing from that perspective. The other thing I noticed in the instructions, this is fairly minor, but in the beginning here, I'll put this image on the screen too later. It shows 3 bolts. This is the one on the top center right behind the tank, and then the 2 on either side. It references these as a torque 50, which I have sitting here somewhere, as a torque 50. And for mine, the center one on the top is actually a torque 40. It was not a torque 50 from the factory. I have taken my seat off before for the British Customs thing, and I remembered it from that for some reason my bike seems to be different in that case. I'm not really sure why. Also, that bolt does not go back in. So, well, it does. They say they give you another nut that you can put it back in, but again, that nut didn't fit. You can see I have it screwed into the factory rail here, and it fits that just fine, but the nut that they sent didn't. I could have easily fixed that, but I still had the plastic cover for mine, so I just didn't put it back in at all. They say in the instructions that bolt is not used anymore afterwards. So anyway, that takes care of that. That's the only difference there. You do want to have some grease on hand if you're going to do this, because you'll need to grease the bearing there. There's a little sleeve. They recommend some tape to put on the front of the seat, so you can just download the instructions and look through that. I won't go too much on that. There was nothing else in the instructions that stood out to me as different from my bike other than those few things that I mentioned. Now, let's get down to the ride situation. I took it on a ride for my usual ride to where my work is, so about 3 miles, something like that. This is initial impression only. Obviously, long term, I'm going to have maybe some different opinions on that, but initial impressions, really, really happy. This is probably the best money I have spent on my bobber so far as an upgrade. It is comfortable. It is a big, big, big difference from the stock setup as far as comfort in the seat. I was able to hit speed bumps at normal speed. I was able to go over potholes that normally, not potholes, but road surface problems that normally are a problem for me. Normally it would give me this jarring feeling over my back, and I'd almost have to stand up on the pegs to ride over them. None of that with this seat. It's all perfect there. In fact, I actually noticed some of the shortcomings of the front shocks now more than I did before, because the back feels so good. I mean, you could almost not feel anything going through your back driving over some bumpy roads. Now, everything has its limits. There is a point where it's not going to feel quite that good. But I would say this is, for me to say that this is the best upgrade I've done, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm really happy with my exhaust upgrades. So if that tells you anything. Anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with the upgrade. I'm not sure if having the British Custom seat in my case helps with that too or not. But I have both, just so you know. And every person I've seen comment on this so far, I've only seen a few people who actually have this seat. But every one of them I've seen so far has given a very similar type of review, that it's the best upgrade they've done for their bobber so far, and I completely agree with that after doing it to mine. The quality of the kit is really good. The packaging of the kit was really, really good. They folded instructions nice and neat right on top. Everything was packed well so nothing would be scratched. They say in the instructions where to tape and why to keep things from being scratched. I mean, they really care about whether you have a good product at the end. I've never talked to them. I don't know them. They're not sponsoring this, nothing like that. I'm just really impressed with the product they sent over. So I'm going to put some time on it, see how much I really like it. I'm sweating. If you haven't noticed in here, it's kind of hot in the garage. I'm in Florida. It's warm. But anyway, yeah, pretty happy with that so far. Really easy install. Really fun process. Really, really like the ride. So I'm going to put some miles on it, and I'll do another video later saying how much I liked it. Y'all have a good one.